tops your cup. Nothing tops your cup. Nothing tops your cup. Nothing.
Enter the Black Dragon and listen to his knowledge. This is Biker 101, and he's professor to the college. Posting up videos on YouTube, coming directly to you, showing you the ins and outs of what not to do.
Hello everyone, I'm Black Dragon, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Black Dragon Biker TV. And as always, we thank you for tuning in. Today I have a special treat for my law enforcement subscribers who have been recently sending me multiple requests asking about law enforcement clubs and biking lately. So in response, I've set up some interviews for you that I hope you'll find interesting and informative. This past week, the largest law enforcement motorcycle club in the world, the Blue Knights International MC Nation, gathered at Stone Mountain, Georgia, at the Stone Mountain Park Marriott Evergreen Resort for their international conference. They had club brothers and sisters show up from all over the United States and from several countries around the world, such as Germany, Ireland, and I believe I might have even seen an Australia cut. The Blue Knights International Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club consists of active and retired law enforcement officers who enjoy riding motorcycles. It was founded in the spring of 1974 in Bangor, Maine, by 7 original founding fathers. Today it boasts 650 chapters, 19,500 plus members, and 11 conferences within 29 countries around the world. I think that might make them among the largest MCs in the world, and certainly the largest law enforcement MC in the world. So, I find it interesting that my own nation was founded by 7 men in 1974 as well. And although we've experienced national growth, we've not experienced anywhere near the growth of the Blue Knights MC Nation. Therefore, they are very successful. And I have conducted several interviews with various members of the club over the last week. And the first interview that I want to bring to you, I believe, is a real treat. I was fortunate enough to interview one of the last 3 remaining founding fathers, Chuck Schumann, and his lovely wife, Chris. And I can tell you that interviewing founding fathers is always a pleasure. I mean it. To actually get to speak to someone who is responsible for creating a legacy is a pure pleasure. Whether they've created one chapter of one club that has lasted for 30 years, or an MC Nation with 600 plus chapters in 29 countries that has lasted 44 years, it's all the same. These guys generally only speak one language, a language that you have heard me mention over and over and over, and I want you to look for this language during this interview. Listen to how the founder speaks more about we than me. How he talks more about ours than mine. And how he talks about seeing the smiling faces of his members and how that drove him to sacrifice more of himself for his beloved MC Nation. You'll hear other familiar tones like how the clubhouse was first in his basement or garage or spare building or all kinds of other clues like that we hear from the great founders, the mighty great founders who are always concerned with leadership by example, by focusing on the we, more than they could ever be concerned about the personal agenda of the me. I don't know. It's just normal leadership language that these leadership kinds of guys speak. The kind of language I emphasize over and over again on my channel and on my videos. This is the kind of language you'll notice spoken by founders of every kind of MC that I've ever interviewed. From traditional MCs to law enforcement MCs to RCs and everything in between. These kinds of men are special. Talking with the founder is not unlike speaking with the father of the mighty Black Sabbath Motorcycle Club Nation, Paul Pep Perry, who always said to me, son, stop saying my. Stop saying me, and start saying we. So kick back in your seats and have a listen to Mr. Chuck Schumann, one of the original founding fathers of the Blue Knights International Motorcycle Club Nation. Hi, I'm Black Dragon, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Black Dragon Biker TV. And we are really fortunate today to have one of the founding fathers of the Blue Knights Motorcycle Club Nation, one of the largest clubs in the world perhaps, and certainly one of the largest police clubs, if not the largest LE club in the world, sitting right here with us with his wonderful wife. So tell us your name, sir.
My name is Chuck Schumann. My wife's name is Chris. I come from Brewer, Maine, and I was a police captain on the Brewer Police Department for 30 years. We started the club. There were a couple of fellas that were policemen went on a ride.
Uh-huh.
They stopped at a coffee shop and called me in because I got a big mouth. And they was trying to set up a police motorcycle club and get all the officers in the area interested so we could ride as brothers and sisters and we could get together with the families all the time. We did that, and as we started off like that, we had no idea in the world that this would go this far. We started off with 8 of us.
Wow.
And we wrote letters and we put out teletypes and we tried to get a hold of everybody that we knew in the police that rode motorcycles.
Right.
To make a long story short, our first meeting, we had 20.
Right.
And then from there on, we started the newspaper, the Associated Press picked us up, the AP picked us up, and it went out all over New England.
Wow.
And then one day, 2 officers from Boston showed up. One was a Mass State Trooper, the other was a Brockton policeman, wanted to know about our club. They enjoyed our meeting, and then we went with them to Boston. They set up a meeting down in Brockton, Mass. We had 70 police officers from all over New England,
Right.
Massachusetts.
Right.
And it went from there. I think the secret of the club was correspondence.
Okay.
The first office of the Blue Knights was in our basement of our house. And then people were started writing in from the West Coast, from Canada, and every time they wrote a letter to us, we answered it within 2 days.
Oh, wow.
Now that's a cop's treat, because if I write to somebody, I want to know an answer. I don't want to wait a month and a half or you lose out. And then the mail came in and we had about 200 members.
Wow.
And then we had our first international convention in Maine. 173 members showed up from far away as Seattle, Washington, from all over Canada, and we had a great time. And we were off and running. I'd take off every weekend, leave my poor wife home with the kids, and 3 of us would go travel Connecticut, New York, all over New England. And through the years, it's been great. I'll tell you, we were on our first ride, and there was 19 of us, and we drove to Canada from Maine. On the way up to Canada, I kept looking in my rearview mirror, and everybody was up straight and riding with a big smile.
Right.
So when I got back home, I told the kids, and when we signed the letters, we signed it "Ride with Pride," because they were so proud.
Right.
Now they've adopted that. That's our motto now.
Ride with pride.
Ride with pride.
Wow. That's amazing. So what part did you play? I mean, you backed him up. You had to be gone through the week.
I had the kids.
You had the kids. So
Yes, I had
did you ride on the back or ever?
We did for a few years, and then we had an accident,
Oh.
and then I wouldn't go back on because I still had 3 children to take care of, so, and that was the end of my riding.
That was so. 1974 you started
Yep, we started in 1974, 44 years old.
with just 7 guys.
7 guys.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and everybody always asked me, did you ever think it would be this big and go this far? I said, no, but I'm darn glad it did, because I wouldn't be here right now, and neither would you.
So when you see all these people believing in something that you cobbled together,
Well, it makes me proud. And what it's done for me is Chris and I have been to Europe, to Blue Knights over there. We've been to Austria. We've been all over different conventions in different states. And the people are wonderful. And every year I come back, you make new friends, but you meet with the old friends that you made. And the networking and the police department, I mean, they're all different police departments. If you need information somewhere else, all you have to do is look up the Blue Knights and call them in that city, and you get treated very well.
Well, listen, I want to thank you for taking the time. I'm just amazed to see a motorcycle club with almost 20,000 members, 600 and some chapters worldwide. You started the same year we did. We started with 7 men who rode on Sundays in 1974.
Really?
And so we became a national motorcycle club, but you guys have become this huge thing.
Yeah.
But we also, excuse me, but we also had a couple guys that took it overseas.
Yes, ma'am.
And this is what happens too, is you did the network, and pretty soon the overseas people came into this, and they're wonderful people.
Yeah, I've made friends. I've been to Germany a couple of times, and I made friends over there. They come to Florida, where I live, and visit. We go over there and stay with them. A Blue Knight traveling, all he has to do is find another Blue Knight, and he's got lodging, he's got meals, or if he breaks down, we all help each other out.
That's the most important.
We're all law enforcement.
Yes. Okay, Brothers of the Shield.
You got it. And sisters.
And
too.
sisters. There are women in the club as well, women riders?
Oh, yes. We have a lot of police women in the club that ride. They're here tonight, too. And it's just been a wonderful experience. And Chris and I both 82 years old.
82. Are you still riding?
No.
I was 38 years old when we started this club. Didn't have a motorcycle or a motorcycle license. I had to learn how to ride a motorcycle.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Listen, so do they call you father? That's what we call our founder.
Founding father.
Founding father.
Yeah.
But there are 3 of them.
There are 3 founding fathers that are left?
Yeah,
Yes, 3 of the 7 are left.
When somebody dies in this club, they go to Heaven One. And that's our biggest chapter we got right
Heaven
now
One.
because, my God, they're passing away like flies. You know?
Well, you're going to be around a while. We know that.
I hope so.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir, for your time, founding father, and for being on Black Dragon Biker TV, and we certainly appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate being talked to, and this club is our lives along with everything else. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nothing tops your cut. Nothing tops your cut. Nothing tops your cut. Nothing.
Into the Black Dragon and listen to his knowledge. This is Biker 101, and he's professor to the college. Posting up videos on YouTube, coming directly to you, showing you the ins and outs and what not to do. He's truly a breed apart. subscribe to his channel. Some try their best, but they don't match his can. Don't believe me, it's cool. Tune in and hear him on truth. He's straight schooling you. His vids are the proof. He's filled with desire. He's filled with respect. He's filled with a fire. He always comes correct. Was 5 years to prospect. He didn't care about his label, but now he runs the Black Sabbath. Set in stone is his fable.
Black Sabbath forever, forever Black Sabbath.
Thanks for tuning in and get skinny.